Hey guys, what's going on this morning? It's a little chilly this morning. uh, I've been trying to pull up any update that's out there. There's not really much of nothing out there. They did a little talk about Suzanne Simpson and the case, and they're comparing it to another case that they had back in 2007, I believe, or 2003. That was similar. So I know they're doing that. They're kind of talking about it that way, about, how they can do it without having the body, trigger warning. So I know there's ways to do it. I think they have enough evidence. And then I did get some information on a few of the other cases that I want to go over today. I did get some information back from a fingerprint expert that I had spoken with, and it's about the Slater case, about the 4 to 7 days, being out in the elements like that, where it's hot during the day, cold at night, that usually after 9 to 11 days, there's really no hope for lifting them right and getting an accurate reading. I've been waiting on that information to come in for a while, so it did come in, which worked out really good, because it does help a little bit on this case as far as for me to understand a little more, to kind of make sense more to me about maybe they did some of these other styles of testing, but the problem is when you get after 4 to 7 days, it starts getting really hard, and then after 11 days, it's nearly impossible. I mean, there still is ways, but it's very expensive, and it takes a long time. You're talking a long time to do. I don't know exactly how long it took them to come out and say, but one thing I never really understood that I had asked a few people on that have a way more knowledge than me is when somebody does take a fall from that height, do their clothes fall off, right? Because that's one of the things on this case that has always bothered me, that his clothes were found within 3 to 5 feet of him. Some items as far as 7 to 10 feet. So that is kind of, I mean, I can understand the cell phone being found a good little distance away, but there is proof now that I did receive the proof now, at least from a well-known source. Now, you still got to say alleged, right, in my opinion, but that the cell phone was found near him. Although it was pretty much wiped clean, it was found near him. So almost like a factory reset was performed. And usually once a phone dies, say, like the 1% battery, right? Say the phone died, there would be no way to reset the phone unless you charge the phone. So that doesn't really make sense to me. I know that we've done quite a few parts of this, and I did want to come on and say that part 13 is going to be more about understanding how they identified him, and it's mind-blowing to me on how they did identify him, right? It's hard to say because it's almost like it's impossible. And when you take that many days in the element, because you have 3 stages, right, of when you pass, there's 3 stages. Usually they like to do, put it this way, they usually like to do fingerprinting within the first 4 to 7 hours of passing. So that should tell you something, that it is very important, because the longer it goes, the softer the tissue, right? So say after 11 days, like take a piece of wet toilet paper, right? It's like you touch it and it tears, right? That's how it works after that length of time. And then after 29 days, it's pretty much, your body's pretty much liquefied, right? Like there's no way you're doing anything after that many days unless you send it off for extensive, and it takes months to get those results after that long. Months. I mean, look at these cold cases. Yes, they can still do things, but it takes months. Basically, what they're doing is like recreating and refreezing and refilling with fluids. It's crazy how it works. I was able to get the write-up on it, and from a very well-known fingerprint expert, and it's very, very hard, like I said, after 11 days, especially in the element. Now, if you're in a freezer or kept in like a morgue or something where you're in a freezer, then it's different. But when you're out in the element, it's hot during the day, cold at night, that shifts the body. Because did y'all realize that usually blowflies and flesh flies, trigger warning guys, 100%, are on the body within usually 2 hours? And usually their eggs are hatched within 4 to 8 hours, sometimes 2 hours. So then you also have beetles, and then you also have critters, right? So to me, I don't know what the state was. I just feel that no way they lifted fingerprints, right? In my opinion, no way. Not after that long. Not unless they sent it off and it took months to get the confirmation. Now that is possible. But, you know, as far as the clothing being off, that's not. Now if you're in water, like a river or running, moving water, yeah, I can understand. Maybe you would lose an item of clothing, but to have all your clothing next to you, it doesn't make sense. And unless they're viewing this, unless what we know, we didn't see photos, so unless, say, a pack of wild dogs or coyotes or something had basically, but if that would have been the case, right, if they would have drug him off and drug him to pieces, that would have been, that would be understanding that the clothes would be scattered everywhere. But evidently they were all found in one spot. So it wasn't like, you know, not saying they're neatly folded or anything, but they were all right there within a few feet. So I don't know. It's so hard to tell without actually seeing photos. I mean, I've always wondered that. I've always wondered how they were able to do that. And it's looking more and more like there's no way they could have done that, in my opinion, and some of the opinions that I've got, which are actually really, really well-known people. So it's not like I'm getting information from, you know, somebody that's not, you know, an expert on it. So it does make it hard. It makes it hard to understand. And it's very confusing, because the only way they would have been able to do this would be if, just say that, you know, it would have had to have been kept cold. Like, I'm talking like icebox cold, or frozen to completely stop it, the aging. So if that was the case, then that means that he wasn't there until when they found him, right? That would explain. And I wish that they would have allowed somebody else on the outside, a third party, to view it, right? So that we would have a better understanding, because I know a lot of people feel like it was all covered up, right? Like this wasn't, some people even feel like this wasn't Jay. So I don't know. I'm pretty sure that, you know, that if they did do DNA testing, that they will be able to confirm that way. But as far as the fingerprint theory, the fingerprint, they're saying, I just don't see that happening. I'm sorry, I hate to be that way, but I don't see it. I just don't see how, after that period of time, that it was doable, right? So it does throws a wrench in it for me. I don't know. And one of the things that really bugs me has always been the boat, right? Because, you know, as boats, they do have like ice rooms, places to ice down fish, you know, frozen little rooms in those boats, right? Those fishing boats, that could have been a possibility. That's why that boat was even used, was to put him in there, like in their freezer area or their ice bin. And that is possible. That would stop the aging. And then put out there right beforehand, well, it would only be, you know, probably a couple of days worth. So that would make more sense, because I don't feel that after 29 days when your body is basically liquefied, that they would be able to do any kind of fingerprint other than might not been able to do it at all, is basically what I'm getting. But I don't know, guys. It's tough. I mean, this is a tough case. It's going to take a while to cover. I get it. It is. I just need to understand more of the zone, the area, the climate. So what I'm working on now, I have somebody working on now, is getting me every day, the weather for every day, right? So that way I will know those 29 days, what it was at night, what it was during the day, whether it was overcast, whether it was sunny, whether it was hot, whether it was cold. Because if it is cold, really cold, like, winter, put it this way, it's 5 to 11 days in hot climates, up to 50 days in cold climates. But I do not believe that Tenerife is cold climate, which means that it would have to stay like mountain cold, like, snow up on the peaks and, mountain cold, like, 30s at night, 40s during the day. That's possible, for up to 50 days. But if it's at all hot during the day, 50s, 60s, 70s, no, not going to happen. Not after 29 days. So I did want to come on a little bit while I'm taking care of some stuff. I have some family members. I'm making a big breakfast and doing some things. But I did want to come on for a minute and go ahead and make the sneak peek video for 13, part 13 of the Justice for Jay Slater. So that way I can get it out sometime today. But yeah, this is kind of what I want to go over now, is this part of it, right? They're trying to figure out why things happened the way they did when he was found, and how they jumped to so much conclusion. I understand if the phone is there, like they're saying, well, they pretty much have proven that the phone was there next to him. So I don't know where the beach thing came from. I know that it was not found on a beach. It was found by him. And of course, they said that there's photos that the phone was found next to him. Now, whether it was placed there or not, we don't know that part of it. But we know that it was found by him with his articles of clothing, by him. Everything was used, I think, nothing further than 11 feet from the body. So we do have that kind of vetted there, right? So we kind of got to go with that now, because that's what's out there. So I don't know. It's confusing, right? It's getting more and more confusing as I start getting more and more information from reliable sources. So what I'll do is we'll keep going. We'll keep pushing. We'll talk about this tonight, and get part 13 tonight, and I'll drop it for y'all, and we'll go over it, and y'all can send me y'all's comments. I love y'all's wonderful comments on it. And we are covering, of course, the Sebastian Rogers case as well. So I will do my talk on that tonight as well. So it'll be both. We'll keep it rocking, guys, and we'll keep it rolling. But I'm gonna get back in. It's breakfast time. I got family, so got to do that now before I go to work. But I will see y'all tonight, guys. All right, y'all be safe. Y'all have a good day. Remember, allegedly, these are all my opinions, all my thoughts, all my theories, my speculation, not to reflect on the channel. Y'all's comments, y'all's and y'all's alone, not to reflect on the channel. We do our research together. Trigger warning times 100 million, and we'll talk tonight, guys. All right, bye.